We are taught in this world to put things from outside, that this vitamin, this food is good for this. No, we need to remove the energy blockages, and I'm going to show you again. Only and only when the energy blockages are removed from the 3 levels, the energy course is the second level, and this one's on the right with the energy course with people. Only then the energy start flowing into our medulla oblongata, distribute to our chakras, and then distribute and feed our organs. And then our immune system, which is part of the innate self-healing mechanism that we all have, and then and only then we heal. Have you ever had a beautiful apple? Shiny, no black spot, not even a cut. And then you start eating or try to eat and you find this. How is it possible that this apple that has no dark spots is perfect, has a worm inside? Do you know what is worse than seeing a worm in the apple that you are eating? Is finding half of a worm, because the other half is here. How is it possible that the worm grew up healthy and happy? There was a time that in the flower, the butterfly was flying around and left a little tiny egg. And when the flower started transforming in this fruit, the fruit grew with that little egg inside, and the worm started developing. Remember this analogy. We are going to call this little egg and the worm an energy blockage, something that is corroding the apple from the inside out. Today I'm going to talk about how we really heal from the inside out. All the conditions that we have in our physical body, our mind, our emotions, or spiritual challenges that we may have, we need to heal them from the inside out. And we are going to see what does it mean from the inside out. In order to do that, we need to see first, to understand how the human body is made, not just the chemical composition, because we have subtle bodies that we are going to see soon. And the subtle bodies, which are energy and consciousness, affect this physical body. And then we are going to understand how always the healing is our innate self-healing abilities that heal us from the inside out. We need to know a little bit about how the universe was created. At the very beginning, there was just a spirit, nothing else. How the spirit manifests down to the lowest vibration, which is the matter, the physical world. The creation of the universes. We don't have just this physical universe. And the subtle worlds and the human bodies, how they were created. At the beginning, there was just spirit, beyond creation, nothing but the spirit. And then the spirit manifests into this cosmic consciousness, which is pure consciousness and ideas. And then it manifests into what we call the divine consciousness, that has the role to create everything, and also to establish the laws that govern creation. Another way to see it, the spirit manifests into the cosmic consciousness, which is just pure consciousness and ideas, and this cosmic consciousness manifests in the divine consciousness. We are going to use that concept very often, who has the job of manifesting the creation, of create, the role of evolution, the spirit into creation. This divine consciousness first creates the causal universe. Causal means that is the cause of the other two universe of manifestations that comes after this. The causal universe is just consciousness and ideas. Nothing else. No energy, no matter. Not physical world. This causal universe creates the astral universe, which is the universe of energy. And the astral universe, from there, then we have the physical universe. Everything that we can perceive with our five senses. Everything that is matter. It's important that we know that these three universes are one inside of the other. One contained inside of the other. The physical universe is contained inside of the astral universe. Another way to see it, if this is the physical universe, the astral universe is larger in volume and contains everything that is physical. And these two universes are contained or inside the causal universe. Now, what is our soul? At the beginning there was just spirit, nothing but spirit. And after the creation of the causal universe, the astral universe and the physical universe, the spirit realized that needed human beings to enjoy the creation. And the spirit separates portions, little portions of itself into spirit. We can say it's small part of the spirits. These manifestations of separations from the spirit are what we call our souls. Now, our souls, then the soul is spirit, pure spirit. We cannot even comprehend that unless through deep meditation we know what is our soul. And the soul gets attached to three bodies that we have. A causal body, which is the cause of the other two, means that this causal body creates the other two, which are the astral body, which is just energy, and the physical body. Every soul has these three bodies. A causal body, which is just consciousness and ideas. The astral body, which is energy, which are our mental activity and feelings, the feelings that we have, love, hate, all those feelings. And the physical body, which is what we perceive with the five senses. Let's see how the human body is created. We have first this divine consciousness creates the causal body, which we are going to see it on another way so we can understand, which is just our consciousness and ideas. What is our consciousness? If we close our eyes right now and we don't feel the body, we are in a comfortable position and we have no thoughts, let's put your attention in the spiritual eye or in the crown chakra. This is our consciousness, that we just are aware that we exist, nothing else. And then from the causal body, our astral body is created, which is our mental activity and our feelings. Energy is energy and our mental activity. In that energy, the feelings are integrated. And then this physical body that we can perceive with our senses. Now, the causal body is made out of 35 elements, ideas. There are ideas, there are patterns, like a blueprint that says, okay, this physical body will be female, will have blonde hair, we have black eyes, whatever. Everything that we are here right now has been meticulously planned by the Creator, by the pure consciousness. From these 35 elements, 19 corresponds to the astral elements of forces, energy of the astral body. and 16 to the main 16 elements of our physical body. This is important to understand, because when we understand that, we are going to understand how to heal ourselves. And healing really means self-healing. This is an analogy of our subtle bodies and the physical bodies. The physical body is inside, contained, surrounded. The astral body is literally around, surrounding our physical body. And these two bodies, the physical body inside of the astral body, are inside of the causal body. And that makes sense, because if the causal body is the blueprint of everything that we have, that our femur, our hands, our fingers are going to be like that, it has to encase everything else, because it's controlling the creation and the growing of our human body. So the three bodies, the physical, astral, and causal, they are one inside of the other. Another way to see it, the causal body is around our astral and physical body. And then the astral body, we can divide it in three parts. And then the physical body that we can perceive with the senses. And we also can perceive our astral body. How? In the mental activity, with that mental body that we have, and our emotions, the emotional body, and that etheric body that is energy. Most of you, or some of you, or you might have read, people have experiences that they feel their consciousness is outside of the physical body. So they are in that momentary periods of their lives, for a short period, they are just in their consciousness and energy body, an astral body. Some people go a little farther, they have these astral travels, but this is nothing that we have to even look forward. It's not necessary. There are many ways that people experience their astral body and causal body when they feel outside of the physical body. Now, the causal body, the cause of the other two, is a matrix, is a model, a blueprint of 35 elements ideas, 19 plus 16, from which 19 are the forces of or energies that empower, that makes our physical body alive and all the functions that we have, as we will see in detail soon. The physical body has these main 16 elements. It has more elements, but there are 16 main elements. Now, we can exist, we can be alive just with the causal body, just the consciousness. And then the astral body is created. So we can be alive with an astral body, with some kind of mental activity and feelings, and the causal body, but without having a physical body. This is what happens when we sleep. We can have some kind of senses, the astral senses, but we have no consciousness at all, and we don't even feel our physical body. So remember, this state is what we call death. Death is just that we release. We are not connected with our physical body. And when we reincarnate, we have another physical body. We don't have the same. Let's say that we have to make some physical object, like this automobile, this car. We have to have a blueprint, an engineer, a drafter, an artist, draw how the car would look like. And they put all the measurements, and then they put it in a computer, and they make this beautiful car. Of course, the car has an engine, a powerful engine. So there are engineers, there are several engineers that first do the drawing from their minds, their ideas, until this becomes the physical car. The same way, if we want to make a house, there is a civil engineer that will say, well, the walls has to be this thick with this material. An architect that will draw the outside, how the house will look like, or maybe the different dimensions of the rooms. And then this beautiful house come to exist. Everything started in the mind, in the ideas of the architect or the civil engineer. We talk about that the astral body is made out of 19 elements ideas or life forces. There are 4 groups. The first group is the evolution of spirit or mother cosmic nature of this divine consciousness, and creates these 4 elements. The mind, we know what is the mind, the intelligence, the ego, and emotions. Then we have the sensory powers that we know: touch, taste, smell, hearing, and sight. What does it mean? That there is a force, a life force, an energy that empower our 5 senses. If we don't have that energies, or these energies are blocked with something, we may have problems in our eyes, eyesight, ears, hearing, and so on. Then we have another 5 executive powers of the instrument of actions. All this, and you will start understanding, for example, procreation, excretion, speech, locomotion, manual skills. In excretion, speech, in procreation, there are 2 factors. The energy, something that we don't control, and something that we control with our will, is part from the divinity, from these energy forces, elements, life forces, and part of our will to do that. But there are other things, these instruments of life force performing these functions. The circulation, this is totally independent of our will. That comes from the divine consciousness, from the spirit, that we have the circulation, the metabolism. That means the capability to transform the nutrients in energy that we can use to move. The assimilation, to transform food in the nutrients. The crystallization, which is a capacity to create the tissue, the bones, the muscles, and elimination. All these 19 elements, 3 groups of 5 and the first one of 4, all these energies enter our body here through the medulla oblongata at the base of the skull. This soft part of the neck is that organ that is attached to the spinal cord at the neck. All these energies enter our body through the medulla oblongata. This is extremely important to understand now, to understand why the healing is always from the inside out, that we have an innate self-healing capabilities. Let's remember these 19 astral elements. I just put it bigger so you can see them. You can stop the video and you can see them better. And many of them, we control just half of these performance instruments or functions that we have. The others are controlled by the divinity, by these energies. Now, what are energy blockages? Well, energy blockages are precisely obstructions, impediments for these 19 astral elements to circulate in our body. They may not even get to our medulla oblongata because there is something obstructing them. An energy blockage is an informational issue. It's something toxic in consciousness and energies, but it's an informational, toxic, negative, dense issue or information. The purpose is getting stronger and stronger by attracting more of these toxic energies. If we have sadness, if we have depression, well, they will attract more of that negative energy into what we are going to see our astral body. And the goal is to destroy us with sickness and accidents. If we have a sickness, if we have an accident, means that we have these energy blockages. They are energy and consciousness. Remember, it's an informational issue, toxic consciousness and toxic energies. Energy blockages affect our subtle bodies, our causal and astral bodies, then affect our physical body. There are different levels of energy blockages. There is a superficial one, which are toxic thought forms and energy parasites. The second one are toxic energy cords with people, with other human beings, whether they are alive or in spirit. What does it mean in spirit? They are people, humans, that have only a causal and astral body. People who were here on earth and they die, relatives or others. And there is a third level, we call it entities, that are very, very toxic energies that really affect deeply our mind, our physical body, our emotions, everything. This is a way to represent the energy blockages. They are literally like clouds of a toxic, a poison gas, but it's energy inside of our body, inside of our physical body, but really they are in our astral body and consciousness body. Usually we can refer it to the astral body. This is another type of energy blockages, that is when we have energy cords with people. In this case they are alive, but they could be that one of these is not alive anymore. Still we can heal the toxic cord of energy. And how do they come from? Usually there are painful interactions, traumatic interaction with other human beings in general. Remember that book, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. If we are holding or trying to forget something traumatic that it happened to us and we didn't resolve it, they will come to the surface again. Paramahansa Yogananda says, "My teachings are a comprehensive system that brings the individual into complete and balanced harmony with the great plan of the universe. There are many forces at work seeking to destroy this balance, to produce disease, fear, poverty, failure, and unhappiness. These forces attack the individual to upset his physical, mental, and spiritual balance." This is a perfect description of energy blockages. And in his autobiography, over here, he says, struggles in the battlefield pale into insignificance here when men first contends with inward enemies. Inward enemies. No mortal foes these, to be overcome by harrowing array of might. What does it mean? That with physical things, with an army, with a weapon, we cannot overcome them. We cannot fight them because they are in the energy field. They are in the consciousness field. Omnipresent, unresting, pursuing men even in sleep, subtly equipped with miasmatic weapons. The soldiers of ignorant lust seek to slay us all. This is a description of energy blockages, of toxic energies, toxic consciousness. This is a representation of the chakras in a man. What happened, we are going to see the relation between energy blockages and the energy that the chakras absorb. This may not be exactly like that, but it's a very good way to understand it. We see the chakras here absorbing energy. This is not exactly like that, but this works really well with this explanation. For example, in the heart, we can see the energy is entering the heart chakra. That means we have an open heart chakra. We feel love, happiness. We trust people. But all of a sudden, an energy blockage comes. And the energy doesn't flow. It's not that nothing flows. Less energy flows in the heart chakra. Looking on another way to look at the same situation. When we have an energy blockage in the heart, we are going to feel certain symptoms. This representation is typical of a broken heart. That pain that we feel, like if somebody stab us in the middle of the chest with an energetic knife. And we could have lung issues, fatigue, and so on. If we have an energy blockage on the second chakra, we are going to have other symptoms, also related with the sexual organs and reproductive organs because of that area. It is very interesting, and it's very interesting to know when women have been in toxic relationships, romantic relationships for a long time, usually years, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, their reproductive organs start disintegrating. That creates endometriosis, the excessive blood in the menstruation. And they, because of anger and holding grudge, they lose the gallbladder, then the uterus, and then the ovaries. I discovered this in 2019 with one of my students. Now, what happens when the energy blockages are removed? That's what we do with energy healing. And there are other ways that I am teaching you this, so you start working in your own self-healing.
I thought, well, you're saying you're going to do what I think we should do. He's not like Mr. Drug. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not Mr. Pharmaceutical. He's not, and I have my own views on what's going on in our country and how many artists we've lost to fentanyl and other drugs. And I mean, sitting right in front of our faces. So I felt like I'd like to give this guy a chance.
So his firmness on drugs kill people. They're obviously hurting the country. He said that out loud.
He said the pharmaceutical, why is everybody doing drugs now? Why is everybody on pharmaceuticals?
It's such a great question. Why?
Why are we all suddenly mentally ill? Why we aren't? It's not like depression doesn't exist. It's not like postpartum doesn't exist.
Right.
It's not like anxiety doesn't exist. It's what do you do about it?
That's right.
So in my universe, it's what do you do about it? And I said something on Twitter the other day. I said, let's stop drugging everybody. It was like, oh, are you a doctor? And I thought, do I have to be a God, I really want to cuss right now. I want to say the F word. I want to say the F word so bad. Do I have to be an effing doctor to not want to take 1 million pharmaceuticals? Or how about if I'm depressed, I find out why? Do I have to have a disease?
Wait, find out why?
Yeah. If I'm anxious, why? It's like when I did coke, I was anxious all the time. Duh. I was drugging myself to death.
What happens when the energy blockages are removed? Well, the energy starts flowing again. This flow of energy in our chakras is restored, and we recover our wellness, our well-being. We feel well again because the energy is flowing. The energy that enters our chakras, and actually this is what happened. The energy that enters and feeds our chakras, they come from the medulla oblongata. This cosmic consciousness and energy enters the medulla oblongata as the 19 forces, elements that we saw before, and then from the medulla oblongata is distributed to all the chakras. So if there are energy blockages covering the incoming energy, well, our chakras are going to be affected. Now, each chakra feeds from energy the organs around. The second chakra, if we have an energy blockage on the second chakra, we may have digestive issues or some kind of challenges on the organs around the second chakra. If we have energy blockages on the heart, we are going to have issues in the lungs and the heart, etc. This is why it's so important to keep our happiness and love at the maximum in this crisis we are living in, so our lungs are not affected. Now, for every physical organ, guess what? We have an astral or energy organ and a causal organ. So our physical organ, for example, the liver or the lungs, get sick because there are toxic energies messing up or bothering, interfering with the energy organs and causal organs that we have. Remember that. This is the key to self-healing, to control our emotions from fear, to control our mind from toxic thoughts. We come back to this drawing, this graph, and now we are going to see very clear. All the energy enters, the energy that makes our body alive to move and have all these activities, these functions, assimilation, circulation, the senses, the intelligence, everything enters through the medulla oblongata. But what happens when we develop an energy blockage? For example, partially blocking the taste and smell. This is what happened with the bug that we have around in 2020 and 2021. I gave many distance energy healing sessions to people who had fever from the bug. The next day, fever was gone and they recovered the taste and smell. Yes, it's as easy as that. So if we develop an energy blockage in those two forces that feed our taste and smell, for example, it could be hearing and sight, that energy cannot enter into our medulla oblongata and they cannot go through our senses. If we develop an energy blockage on the locomotion, we may have challenges to move or procreation, to procreate. There are many young people that cannot make a baby because the sperms are not healthy. It's because those energy blockages are obstructing the energy to enter our body through the medulla oblongata. If we develop an energy blockage in the crystallization, well, we don't have the capability to heal, for example. We have a cut and takes a long time to heal, or to heal something, an organ that has been affected, or for bones to weld together, because the energy is not flowing. Or, for example, in the metabolization, we cannot transform the nutrients in energy to move our body. And this energy again is obstructed to enter our body. If we have an energy blockage on the intelligence energy or on the mind, what happens? We may have the energy doesn't flow through those two important elements that we have, the mind and the intelligence. We may have memory problems and some other things related to the mind and the intelligence. So now we understand why I was saying from the beginning that we need to heal from the inside out. What does it mean? We need to heal our emotions, our mental thoughts, mental activities, to have a sound and well-rounded, healthy physical body. The deepest levels of energy blockages, there are non-human attachments with the spirits. This is something that I'm going to go deeper on another. I have videos talking about that. But there are really spirits, means that they have a causal body and an astral body, but they are not humans. That's why they are so dangerous for us. And we are going to see how can we avoid them. Second part, where do energy blockages come from? On the second part of this presentation, I talk about how do the energy blockages come from? How do we get them? They don't come just like that. Those are 9 typical ways. that we weaken our energy field or we interact with something that is toxic. When we abuse of alcohol, we get drunk, or when we use any kind of drug, our aura shrinks to the point that we don't have the protection that our aura offers. This is one of the functions of the aura, to protect us against toxic energies that are roaming around.
To not want to take 1 million pharmaceuticals? Or how about if I'm depressed, I find out why? Do I have to have a disease?
Wait, find out why?
Yeah. If I'm anxious, why? It's like when I did coke, I was anxious all the time. Duh. I was drugging myself to death.
When we have sex, intimacy with toxic people, this is an animation that shows these two people having intimacy, so the energy blockages are interchanged. It's not that leaves one person and goes to the other. They multiply. So we get the energy blockages, the toxic energies from other people. We don't get the good stuff. Somebody is a bit, no. We get only the toxic things. This is why many people, especially you women that are so in tune with your body, you feel very sick after having intimacy with somebody that you didn't even know, or you know it. Pornography weakens our aura in a terrible way, and is extremely unhealthy for our astral and causal body. Playing with the spirits is a no. It's very unhealthy. I don't recommend any of these activities. Any strong emotion weakens our aura. In women is depression and fear, in men anger, depression too. When we are immersed on these strong emotions, we are weak energetically and we get these toxic energies. Of course, in places like this, people don't go for spiritual pursuits. So there are plenty of toxic energies and consciousness there. Working in hospitals and an emergency room is very toxic. Why? Because everybody's sick. What does it mean? Everybody has an enormous amount of energy blockages. This is why I have nurses that they tell me they don't feel well. Once in a while they have to have their energies clear. Third part, how do we remove energy blockages? The third part, how do we remove all these toxic energies? How do we clean from energy cores, toxic energy cores with people? How do we remove everything that is toxic from our causal body, from our energy body, from our physical body? It's very important to know now that we healers, we don't heal anyone, because what we do is remove the energy blockages that doesn't let the energy flow into your astral body, into your physical body. If the energy is flowing freely, we cannot get sick. This is why we have to have our immune system strong so we don't get bugs. Then, when the energy blockages are removed, our self-healing capabilities, from which the immune system is part of it, start working and heal our body by itself. Our body can heal itself, provided that we remove all the energy blockages from the subtle bodies. Our innate self-healing system, we all have this. We all have this. When we are conscious of that, we are going to have half of the sickness, because we are going to take care of ourselves, mentally, emotionally, energetically. The immune system is part of that. The lymphatic system is part of that, and the nervous system is part of that. We need to have all these 19 forces that empower, that makes these systems work clear so they can flow. What do we heal from? Well, we can heal from anything that is not caused like it. If we have a car accident, of course, we have to go to the emergency room, so they patch us up, they fix, they sew, they repair our broken bones. But we can heal from physical challenges that appears out of the blue. And we go to the doctors and they cannot find anything where our pain is coming from. From mental challenges, from emotional challenges, from spiritual challenges. There are people who are angry, with our Creator, with God, that can be healed. It happened to me many times with my clients. Now, it's very important that the three bodies work aligned, that all our forces work aligned towards a goal. We need to have a goal. If we humans don't have a goal, we disintegrate. Why? Because we are not working with all our capabilities, our mind, our feelings, our energy towards one goal. And the goal should be to contact with the Spirit, the Creator. Once we have that, we can have everything and anything. If our causal body wants this, and our astral body goes there, and our physical body does that, we cannot be healthy, because we are spreading our energies in different directions. Again, these three bodies, they have to work together, go to the same things. We have to have a consciousness and think about one thing. Our mental activity and our feelings have to go through the same thing, and our body actions goes to the same thing. If we want to find the connection with the Spirit, we need to think about that, have positive thoughts, and we have to sit down and meditate. If we miss meditation, well, we cannot get there. That's why I said again, all the activities of our three bodies has to be united towards the same goal. This is an affirmation. I am reasoning, willing, acting, and loving. Oh, I added that. I am reasoning, willing, and acting. Please guide my reason, will, and activity to the right thing that I should do. I invite you to learn this simple affirmation and practice it during the day, during your meditations. How do we remove these energy blockages? How do we avoid energy blockages? It's important to lead a healthy life. Living a healthy life means healthy, not just eating healthy, but means healthy thoughts, healthy feelings, and healthy ideas and consciousness. And serving others, because when we help our human fellow beings, we feel this happiness because we are helping someone else, whether we know them or not. It's not just helping our family, our smaller circle of people that we deal with. Being in nature is the easiest way to connect our little being with the Spirit, because it's free from interference from electromagnetic waves and from the craziness of other people. Of course, we need to be in good company in whatever we do. Deep daily meditation every morning, every evening, and feeling and practicing peace, doing everything from a space of peace. Devotional activities, devotional songs connect us with the Spirit very quickly. Healing energies, Reiki is one of them. We can receive individual or group sessions in person or at the distance. Nowadays I have many clients that request distance energy healing. And always do what is best for us, not just doing what other people tell us to do. We need to respect ourselves, respect our soul, do whatever is best for us, and have this inner power that will allow us to say no when we don't want to do something that we know is not in our highest good. Of course, we have to have a healthy lifestyle. We are going to start with the physical body just because it's what we know the most. We haven't been taught about our subtle bodies. This is obvious. Most of us know that we need to eat healthy. I highly recommend green smoothies, everything that is alkaline. When our body becomes acidic because of toxic thoughts, because toxic emotions, it becomes sick. Fresh fruits and vegetables, and cook things, raw things. When we cook things, they lose the energy. The energy is gone, the energy from the sun that is accumulated in the fruits. The color of the green smoothie is because of the chlorophyll that is made with the help of the energy of the sun. Being in nature, as I said before, is one of the best and easiest way to recharge our energy, to feel the peace. And of course, with good company. And what I mean by that is we go to nature to be in nature, not to bring all the amplifiers and the music and bring the city into nature. We go to nature to feel the peace and to recharge our subtle bodies. Devotional activities. I have one of these harmonium and also the tablas. But to me, daily devotional songs brings a lot of energy and is the easiest way to connect with the spirit. And of course, daily meditation. I've been practicing daily meditation since I was 18 years old. I never missed them. Practice receiving energy healing sessions. This is one of my classes. Those are my students here in my home. And doing always what is best for our souls, meaning that we do what make us happy, what make us feel well. It's about our wellness. I show this because I love hiking and being in nature, but whatever it is that makes our soul sing and feel full of joy and energy. What do we do to heal well? I mentioned a few things. Healthy eating, close to nature, moving our body. We need to exercise. Just by the fact that our cells are always in constant movement, the electrons, the protons, our atoms are always in constant moving. We have a heart beating, we have the lungs moving, inhaling, exhaling. We have the blood circulating, so our body has to move. And if we cannot do much, we just walk. We run at the beach, we go to the park, but walking is a good exercise to start. In these times that we spend so much in front of the computer, it's a must to move our bodies. We need to have clear goals in life. If we don't have a clear goal, we disintegrate. Because if our goal is not clear, we don't put all our energies in one focus point, goal, we dissipate our energies and eventually it could disintegrate us. The only thing that we have is the present moment. The past doesn't exist anymore. We can learn from the past not to make the same mistakes. And the future doesn't exist because the only thing that we have is the now. The future is what we are building today. So it's very important to be in the present moment, in the now, to accept what it is right now. When we practice gratitude, that strengthens our immune system. And meditation, daily meditation, is really the cure, the healing of anger and fear. I know this by my own practice. What I forgot to tell you, everything that I told you, I already practice in my own physical and subtle bodies, in my astral body, in my conscious body. I'm not telling you things that I read in a book or I heard from someone else, from a YouTube here and there. Everything that is in this program, in this video, I prove it to myself. Connecting with our real self, that's daily meditation. This is to connect with our soul through interiorization, introspection. We have to have a routine in the morning where we do some little exercise, we have a shower, we meditate, and we start with a healthy meal. Ideally, that's my recommendation, a green smoothie. It's important to let go of the past, the things that made us suffer, the traumas in life. We cannot make a trauma that we had in life the center of our lives. Because if we do that, we will live in a constant negation and negativity. And when we fall into that, that literally stop of spiritual evolution. So eventually we have to forgive, forget, let go and surrender to the present moment, trusting that God knows what is better for us. Of course, we have to do our effort. We have to let go all unnecessary things, and not only material things, but the unnecessary thoughts and emotions that are not serving us, that are toxic, that are negative, and live a very simple life with the things that we really need, not the things that we want. Remember the Coldplay song? When you get what you want, but not what you need. Remember that. Forgiving and asking for forgiveness. Watch my video, the Ho'oponopono, which is the forgiveness and dissolving toxic cords with other people, consciously. We all can do it. We are healing in this way the physical body, the astral or energy body, or thoughts, transmuting toxic emotions and thoughts in positive one, in constructive one. Instead of having destructive thoughts and emotions, we transmute those, we transform them in something constructive. And also we need to heal this most subtle body, which is the consciousness, that our consciousness is always up in the heavens, actually in the spirit, not down in petty material troubles, not even in this time of crisis. We need to have a high consciousness, high thinking, and working hard, working honestly here in this planet. Well, again, to heal our physical body is important green leaves and vegetables. Because why? Because the sun is the one who powers them. The energy of the sun produces the chlorophyll. Actually, the chlorophyll has a structure very similar to our blood. This is why it's so powerful. And when we ingest that, green smoothies, green vegetables and leaves, we have a very powerful and full of energy food. Also, we need to incorporate nuts and seeds instead of protein. I haven't eaten meat since I was 19, and I don't consume dairies anymore, but I do eat seeds and nuts. As I said before, we need to move, we need to exercise, even if it's a daily walk. That's good enough. If you're strong enough that you can run, go to the park, go to the beach, that is even better, because we need to sweat at least 3 times a week to eliminate toxins. Even stress produces physical toxins, and we need to get rid of them. And there is no need to go to a gym. I have some weights. I do weights in my home. I do push-ups. What are the other push-ups? Stand up. I do the jumping rope. So we don't really need to go to a gym. If you can and you want, it's fine. I mean, it's great. And also use a sauna just to get rid of the toxins. And how do we heal our astral body? Dissolving, healing, and resolve situations with other people. In general, forgiving and asking for forgiveness. This is very powerful, because if we don't forgive, we are keeping alive these energy cords. Those are toxic energy cords. How do we know we have them? Because we think of a person and we feel anger, frustration, revenge, or sadness. We miss someone. This is why we need to forgive and ask for forgiveness. We dissolve these toxic energy cords or attachment with human beings practicing the Ho'oponopono. Watch my video. And we do that, we heal it not just with people that we know and are alive in a physical body. We do it with spirits, relatives, friends that left. We can do it, and the healing is there for us and for them, because they are still alive in consciousness and in the astral body, in their energy bodies. And as important as that, we need to forgive ourselves. Just think of your life, or we think of our lives, and many times we are punishing ourselves for something that we did long time ago, like how stupid, how did I do that? We have to let it go, because every time we do that, we are bringing toxic energies to our astral body. Practice the Ho'oponopono. Go to my YouTube channel, look for Ho'oponopono forgiveness process. Actually, look for free Ho'oponopono. Don't fall into those people who are selling the Ho'oponopono. That's not honest. The Ho'oponopono is a process of forgiveness that comes from the kahunas, the energy healers. In Hawaii, it's a Hawaiian tradition. Nobody sells that over there. It's just a twisted Western mentality that is selling that thing. This should be given for free. If we are grateful and we practice gratitude, we strengthen our immune system. Release all the things that are not serving us. With people, it could be a car, it could be a house, a material thing. We need to be detached from the fruit of the result of our actions and give it to God. Give everything to the Creator. At the end, He's the responsible of everything. We have to let go. Read the book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. I don't remember the author right now. So we are able to move on in life. All this, forgiving, releasing, detaching, can be done with the Ho'oponopono. To heal from energy blockages, to remove energy blockages, we really need to free ourselves from anything that we are still attached to. It could be people, situation, activities, and material things. For example, this car that is stuck in the mud. Let's say that I put the best gas. I put aviation gas that has a huge, comparing with cars, octane, which is the power of that mix of fuel. Will it move and go away? No, because it's stuck up to here. If I clean the car, the outer part, and I leave it shining, will it go away? Will it move and go back to the race or whatever? No, because it's stuck. The wheels are stuck. Remember the 18 elements, forces, 19 elements. One was locomotion or motion. Well, the energy of that is not flowing here. And look at the guys, the one on the right looking at the phone and the one on the left too. They are seeking for help. Many times in our lives when we are stuck, we need to look for help. It could be a friend, a wise person that we know, a healer, a mentor. And the job of these people is to help us to move on our own back to the road. This is important that we free ourselves from anything and everything that is binding us, to let go of the things, to release everything that we are attached to and we know is unhealthy for us, and surrender to what it is, and practice to live in the present moment. One of the things that happen, everybody knows, you open the door of a cage to a bird and they may not leave because they are used to be in cage. They are comfortable. Like right now in the crisis that we are in the whole world, people are comfortable. They don't want to see the reality. They rather be used and abused and keep in the jail because they tell you what to do instead of getting out of the jail and be responsible for our lives. Remember that. We need to learn to be free. This is a responsibility, but takes courage to be free. And 50% of the people in this world don't have the courage to take responsibility for their lives. They just let other people take control of their lives, of their health, what they eat, or the entertainment, whatever. Or everything. So this is a self-creating prison. The negative thoughts. We have to transmute them in constructive thoughts. For example, when we were kids, somebody told us, "You're good for nothing, you're worth nothing," and we think, "I'm not good enough." This is something that somebody put into our brains, into our thoughts. We have to get rid of that because it's not true. Again, to have the clear goals in life, to synchronize the three bodies, the effort of all of our three bodies, our consciousness, our thoughts, with our emotions, our mental processes, and our physical acting, all together to one goal. The supreme goal, ideally, so the other things will be easier. Okay, now that you are alone, smile. Nobody's looking at you. Smile with all your heart. Many times we have to do that. We have to be with people that make us smile. Today I was doing a meditation, live meditation. I have a smile because, of course, I wasn't meditating. I was distracted. A friend of mine called me and we laughed so much with very interesting subjects. We were not just joking anything. We were talking about the reality of the war, and I was smiling. So we need to be surrendered by people, by friends, and get together to smile, to be happy. We really need to think positive. Toxic thinking starts disintegrating literally our body, affecting the liver, the lungs, the gallbladder, the heart. This is the root cause of cancer, the toxic emotions and the toxic thinking. So we need to bring happiness in our lives and positive thinking. That works. Look at this, how beautiful. Smile means see miracles in life every day. We need to make this happen. We need to do the effort. What do we do with healing energies? Well, we remove these energy blockages. We remove these energy cords with people that are alive with a physical body or in spirit, in energy, in consciousness, when they left this world. When we remove or facilitate, this is what we do, we facilitate the removal of these energy blockages. Reiki means intelligent consciousness and energy divinely guided. Then our innate self-healing capabilities start working because the energy is flowing and our body heals itself. This is something I cannot emphasize enough, because this is the way we heal. This is the only way we heal. There is no other way to heal. We are taught in this world to put things from outside, that this vitamin, this food is good for this. No, we need to remove the energy blockages, and I'm going to show you again. Only and only when the energy blockages are removed from the three levels, the energy course is the second level, and this one's on the right, with the energy course with people. Only then the energy starts flowing into our medulla oblongata, distribute to our chakras, and then distribute and feed our organs. And then our immune system, which is part of the innate self-healing mechanism that we all have, and then and only then we heal. Look at these two kids in the Amazon. Why they are happy? Because they don't have the complications we have in the cities. They don't have all the gadgets, and they live in nature, in contact with this beautiful consciousness and energy. Yes, I know, we live in the city, but we need to simplify the things and be smiling every day and be with positive thinking every day. And like this girl, you can see in her face, in her smile, and in her eyes, that he has some kind of connection with the spirit, like the kids in the Amazon. And she's free from all these energy blockages, free from anger, from anguish, from sadness, from revenge, from holding grudge, and all these toxic emotions. How do we find the energy blockages? You may be wondering, and how Carlos find all these energy cores, energy blockages? Well, I have a method. There are many ways. In energy healing, in Reiki, we teach scanning with the hand. It works so well. But it's not very important. I do a detailed scan most of the times with my clients, because I may find things that are important for them. But this is a way, just if you are curious, I want to tell you, I use this gadget and I use a pendulum like this, and I just ask, where Johnny needs help the most? In which chakra? And the pendulum shows me that. It took me several years to develop this technique and be safe. I don't recommend anybody to do it. I teach it to my Reiki 2 students, but this is the way I do it, and it's very precise. I can find even, for example, energy blockages or energy cores with deceased people. Sometimes with a woman who had an abortion or a miscarriage or many kind of things. But this is useful for the client to know where the energy blockage was and how to resolve that situation. How do we know that we are healed? Well, my friend, if you have had depression, anxiety for many years, and you have seen all the healing videos in YouTube, you listen to all this high vibration healing thing, music for money, for love, and you are still feeling down and with anxiety, depression, and other toxic emotions, means that you still have energy blockages. So you may need the help of an energy healer, and we all need to meditate every day to prevent that. So when this anxiety and frustration and depression are not longer with us, then and only then we know that we are healed and we don't have energy blockages. Those energy blockages are gone, and we replace that with happiness and with energy in our heart. So remember that. Don't get to the point that the energy blockages start eating you from the inside out. When you know that your energies are toxic, get rid of them. If you need help, look for help. We need to remove all these energy blockages, these toxic thoughts and emotions, these toxic energy cores, before it's too late and we have too much pain and unnecessary pain. With everything that we have seen today, we know that all those things are unnecessary if we know how to heal them on our own. So I invite you to do that. And I will do a program that I will sell for very little money, that you can practice and make your daily routine to start healing from the inside out. God bless us all.